So this is part 2. If you feel resistance behind trying to get a message, trying to talk to someone, trying to follow up, here's what we're going to do. Okay. Sometimes when we can't take action, it's because our brain's protecting us from something, even if we don't consciously realize it. So we're going to ask ourselves first this. What is the first feeling I get when I think about sending a message? Is it anxiety, dread, exhaustion, fear, overwhelm? So write that down. Okay. The next one is, what am I afraid might happen if I send the message? So write that down. Could it be rejection, judgment, draining conversations, fear of failure? Here's a third one. Have I ever had a bad experience with messaging before? Here's where you have to get real. Feeling ignored? Does ghosting create an emotional response in you? Feeling like you had to overgive emotionally and you got no return? Maybe it wasn't worth it. Those feelings and thoughts. So these answers will reveal the real block. And once we know, we can work through it. That's the beautiful part. And also, that's part 1. Part 2 is it tied to your past experience? So for me, I used to love connecting with people. But after what we went through this past year as a family of back-to-back 12 months of just nonstop medical stuff, emotional stuff, no answers, lots of trauma back to back. I just didn't have the emotional capacity for other people's problems. And that makes total sense. I had to become okay with that being an empath because I felt bad. I'm like, I can't even help people. But that's not the truth. I can help people as I'm in this healing process. I just needed to know how. So the questions, got more questions for you. Do messages feel like they pull you into emotional conversations you don't want to have? Do you worry that people will drain your energy instead of just chatting lightly? Do you feel like messaging equals having to care deeply when you don't have the bandwidth? And if so, yes to these, no wonder you're avoiding it because your brain is saying, I don't have the space for this. And it might not be something emotional. Maybe you're frustrated. You can plug in something else, into the emotional component of what you're struggling with. You get angry or whatnot like that. Again, depending on your personality. Now, if you're not a high empath, guess what? You have other things that might be roadblocks. Again, go ask the Chat GPT to ask you more pointed questions of, when I work my business, why do I feel blah, blah, blah? And just see what their response. Send me a message and let me know what they say. So part 3 is, how can we make messaging feel emotionally safe again? If the real issue is not wanting to take on others' emotions, and again, this is just me, I'm just showing you for my empaths, let's shift the approach so it feels structured, neutral, and easy. Did anyone just feel a sigh of relief on that? So we're going to use clear, low emotion message style. We're going to stick to short, surface level conversations that you don't have to go deep. As an empath, you want to go deep, but here's the truth. It's not going to help them right now if you go deep and it freezes you. You can't engage, you can't help them, you can't really go that deep. You want to, it feels inauthentic. Right now, it is about, sort of that empath coming outside yourself and becoming about them and helping them be able to get help in their health. That's what they need. Let's be real. They need to get started. So these scripts are not overwhelming. So example, instead of, hey, how are you doing, which invites a deep combo, try, hey, thought of you today. How is life treating you? It's lighter and it's easier. You have to set emotional and mental boundaries. Sometimes they're just dang hard, especially when you're in the middle of stuff and your boundaries are being crossed. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't even set them in some places. But this is your business. This is where you have control and you can do it. So the breakthrough is to change how your brain views the task. So instead of thinking, I have to message people, feels heavy like pressure. You're going to say, I'm just going to send a quick note. Feels light, no big deal. Tell yourself, I don't need to overthink this. I'm just sending a quick hello. This is where the combination of just continually posting and just creating that conversation behind, this is working on Messenger, creating that conversation behind the scene, or even conversations with people on text. You've already mentioned it. They know you're connected to Plexus. So re-engaging, even on a personal level, is starting that thought process, especially if you've already had multiple conversations with people. And you'll eventually get to the conversations. We'll get to that in another video. So part 2, overthinking is creating resistance. If you're overthinking, you're going to ask yourself, what do I even say? If you're thinking, what do I even say? What if they think I'm bothering them? I don't want this to feel salesy. Your brain's going to freeze instead of acting. So how to break through? This is where scripts come in handy, so you don't have to think. And I'm not saying you would use scripts all the time. You can, if you get to a place where you've started a conversation, you don't need to use scripts anymore. These are just things to sort of break the ice in your brain, the ice barrier, and get through. You're going to copy and paste something just to start talking, because that is what our business networking is about, is conversations. That's what generates the income. It's getting the tools and the resources to them. So when they know it, we know, they make the same decision, or most do. So again, I just thought of you today. Hey, Jen, I just thought of you today. I wanted to check in and see how life's treating you. Or here's a good one. Here's a slight re-engaging. Hey, you put their name in, Sarah, I came across something that made me think of you. Can I share it? It gets their buy-in. It gets their oh, yeah, sure. So if it's Plexus or non-Plexus, you can, switch it up. Don't know why I couldn't think of that word. And it removes having to think of the perfect words. Here's the deal. You are going to limit 3 to 5 sentences if you're texting. If you need to, no more than 30 seconds when you are leaving a voice message, max 60 seconds, because especially you don't want to over talk. You're trying to keep this short and helpful to them. The focus is them, so you stay safe and you're okay and you're not super engaged and you have no attachment. So it doesn't matter what they choose to do, whether they join, they don't join. It has no impact. All you're doing is you're not pushing your business forward. You are planting the seeds and you continue to water them. That's it. And then you let God take care of the rest. You just continue that farmer thing, mentality. So here's number 3. If it feels too big of a task, your brain might see messaging people as a huge thing instead of a small step. Y'all, I've been there. I've been there actually multiple times, not just now, but before. I navigated getting through it way more easily than I am now. Again, the severity of the trauma, of the circumstances depends on, influence the execution and how deep, and if you even need all of this. How to break through is you're going to shrink the task. Instead of, I need to message 5 people, I've got to do it. Because that's meaning something, it's carrying weight, it's heavy. I'll type out 1 message, that's it. Now, here's the cool part. Once you start, momentum often carries you forward. And if not, that's okay, because guess what? You did 1 step, and I want you to celebrate. Sometimes you can do it. You can say, hey, I'm going to do it before my coffee or tea gets cold, or I'm going to drink my Slim and try to message as many people as I can as I drink through the straw. Make it like a game. Try to make it a little fun. So here's for my feelers or overthinkers. If you need a low emotion approach, since you have low emotional capacity, sending messages might feel like it requires more energy than you have. Anyone else? So how to break through, you're going to use voice messages instead of text, faster, less overthinking. Make it short, quick, and it's more personable. So it might feel more authentic. Set a timer, 5 minutes. See what you can do. Stop, walk away. This is where you're really, yeah. Make it a game, like I said. See if you can do it before it gets cold. And give your permission. This is part 5. Keep it simple. If you're feeling stuck, it's okay. You've been through a lot. Okay? Let's just recognize that. Sit there. You've been through a lot. And it was hard. And getting back in it feels hard. It's just the truth. And that's okay. But you don't have to stay there. It makes sense that certain tasks feel harder right now. And so the key is to make it small and easy so your brain doesn't resist this. So today's challenge right now, you're going to send one message, just one, and it can be as simple as, I saw your post and thought of you. How have you been? Literally just go look on their Facebook, like it, leave a comment, and go send them a message. Hey. No expectations, no pressure, just one tiny step, and you don't have to get it perfect. You just have to get started. And remember, your brain is trying to help you. So now it's your turn to engage your, prefrontal cortex? And now we're going to think through, recognize, and then figure out the actions. Again, you're going to have to look and see where you are and what you can do. But you can do it. It's just figuring out how to scale it to where you are and how to handle the inside, the heart, the emotions, and the thinking. And here's one list I wanted to share with you before I hop off. Things to think, sayings that I get down. I don't have to want to. I just have to send a message. My job is to take action, not control the results. I'm planting seeds, not forcing results. Remember, messaging is planting seeds, not solving problems. I like to control things too. Anyone else? So I had to be like, I gotta let it go. So again, I can care without caring. Their emotions and problems are not mine to hold. I'm here to offer a solution, not to fix everything. I can connect without absorbing. I can build my business without emotional exhaustion. I send and I move on.